Supporting desistance. First, let's look at what desistance is. Desistance is really just the theories and practice of the kind of end point of offending. Basically, what would make someone stop offending. There's lots of theories, there's lots of ideas. We have primary desistance. Primary desistance is when you've been out of crime and offending for a short period of time, maybe 6 months to a year. Secondary desistance is where you've been out of it a long time, you haven't reoffended in a very long time. For some people that can take 5 years, 10, some people it takes 20 years, but it's out of it for a long period of time. The new wave of desistance, which is looking at what we call tertiary desistance, which is the third wave of desistance, which is looking at the importance of the role of community and belonging and family as a motivating factor. Because within the study of desistance, becoming a father, becoming a parent, that may be your motivating factor for stopping. Getting a job, moving to another area, what we call knifing off. But for the legions and the thousands and thousands of offenders who have to come back to the same community, to the same family, to the same environment, if it's remained unchanged, you could argue that if you've changed in prison but the communities and your family and everybody's become unchanged, you're just going to go back to the same old, same old. So there's a lot more investigation as to the importance of family, community and having a sense of belonging. It's what we would refer to, or as I refer to, as social capital. Social capital is based on an individual. If you've got good networks, you're connected, good family, still connected to a faith community, still connected to that youth club, still connected to positive environments, that's a motivating factor to change. If you've got a good family who embrace you, they don't make judgments. The conflict is isolated individuals that have nobody to go back to. There's nothing to connect to. So what the importance about when we look at desistance, it's not just about theories. It's about what is the role of community, what is the role of family, what is the role of your children, what is the role of having faith. So from my perspective, in my work around desistance, that as most of the people I deal with are going back to the community that they came from, the family that they knew, the environment that they're familiar with, we have to engage with a range of uncomfortable realities that some of those youths and some of them men find more comfort in the gang. They find more comfort in their old lifestyle because it's familiar. So the real challenge in terms of desistance in the community is how is the community preparing itself to bring people back in so that they don't have to make those choices. So in the faith communities, it's about looking at forgiveness. In families, it's about how does a family deal with the stigma of bringing someone in who's done something so that they don't suffer as a consequence of an offender. It's also about all of those social networks. It's that youth club. It's that library. It's all of those public spaces that if that individual feels connected to those spaces, their family, to the church or the mosque they left behind, put that all together and they may think there's a place for them. Because for me, what is central to anybody that is going to stop their offending, to remain out of trouble, is to have a strong sense that they're important and they belong and that they're included. But that doesn't mean they're going to get forgiven straight away. It doesn't mean you're going to throw a party. But what it means is, as a community and as a society, we have a responsibility to reincorporate individuals back and find space for them. Because if we don't, we'll get what we have now, which is recidivism, which means that people come out and go straight back in. So therefore, the difficult question, is it the offender's responsibility to change, or is it the community's responsibility to bring them back in? I would argue that it's an intersection of the two. There has to be a motivation to change, and there has to be a space available when that person says, I'm ready to change, to help them make that change.